We're reading Rebbe Nachman's advice. We're on Controversy and Strife 18. At the deepest level, the fact that there are disputes between various tzaddikim, for example, the arguments between the sages of the Mishnah and the Gemara and so on, has its roots in the concept of the empty void. The mystical concept of the void that was left after the primordial light was contracted. Any real understanding of this concept is beyond the capacity of the human intellect. Because of this, it is wrong for a person to allow himself to be troubled by fundamental doubts through an inability to understand how it could be that there were disagreements between the sages in the matters of the Torah. One must simply have faith that these are the words of the living God, and even if we are unable to understand how this could be, we must strengthen ourselves with our faith alone. 19. The more division among the enemy, the greater their power of endurance. When they unite, however, they very quickly suck dry the source of the life force, which is the waste substance of the brain, and they soon collapse. 20. The urge to dominate has its source in the blood with which a person has not yet served God. He must see that he serves God with every drop of blood in his body. He must pour forth words of Torah and prayer until his blood has been turned into the words of holiness. Then he will attain peace, and his urge to argue and dominate will disappear. 21. One who restrains his impulse to take part in the disputes will be worthy of being quoted by name for his legal rulings. After his passing, he will dwell with both worlds, the world to come and this world, where his name will still be mentioned, and it will be as if he is not dead at all. 22. Arguments and infighting make it difficult for a person to pray and speak words of holiness. This is why, before we begin our prayers, we must take upon ourselves the mitzvah of loving your fellow neighbor as you love yourself. In order to draw the love and peace into the world, peace is the root and source of speech. 23. Factionalism can cause even truly righteous people to start having doubts and questions about their faith. 24. A person who is involved in a controversy can be thrown down from his level. He has to be very determined and pray profusely and plead with Hashem not to let him stray from his path because of this. 25. When a person is involved in a dispute, he should never get up and say that whatever his opponent does to him, he will do to his opponent in return. This will only help his opponent achieve what he wants, which is to see his victim suffer. The best thing is to judge his enemies in the scale of merit, and even to do them favors where he can. This is the very best to foil their intentions, and in the end their evil intentions will all come back on their own heads. 26. This applies when one's opponents are not good people. But when they are tzaddikim, there is no doubt that their only intention is to benefit him. Their very opposition has the power to raise him up and sweeten any harsh judgments which may have been made against him. This is why they oppose him in the first place. A person must understand that when he is confronted with the opposition from the tzaddikim, it is only for his benefit. He must pray to God not to allow him to fall into the error of thinking this is real hostility, because if he does, it can arouse genuine opposition from the forces of the other side. 27. Strife brings poverty. It also prevents people from being healed. Peace brings healing and prosperity to the world. 28. When the world is afflicted with wars and bloodshed, it can cause the rains to be withheld and bring about high prices. 29. When men abuse the honor of God, it causes factionalism. 30. The whole world is filled with quarreling. Nation disputes against nation. Every city has its factions. Each household has locked in arguments with the neighbors. Within the household, the husband argues with his wife, the children and the servants, and so on and so on. Nobody thinks about the ultimate goal of this world is. Every day man dies, because the day has passed will never come back, and each day he draws closer to the day of his death. How can he waste his time on arguments? Anyone who has any sense should understand this and win a long life for himself. Let him not waste his life in quarrels, big or small. He should control himself, hold his anger in check, and live peacefully with everybody. Thanks, and we'll continue tomorrow.